Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I've got a comparison video, and I don't even know why I've considered this a comparison video because there is literally no comparison in between these two, but I've got a bit of a comparison between fairies and vampires in The Sims 4. Now, this is not even a comparison. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't even know why I'm comparing this because I mean, literally, these two could not be more opposite from each other. Like, literally, they could not be more opposite from each other. Like, literally. I mean, vampires are literally just undead zombies that have the ability to shapeshift, and they look very, very old, and they look very, very, uh, dead, I guess, is the word that I'm looking for. While fairies are very lively creatures, and they are very magically filled, pun intended, by the way. Um, but there are some similarities between these two. They both have unique deaths that can happen to them. Fairies basically having two, actually. And yes, we do have a special guest joining us in this video, and that being Mother Nature herself. Yeah, don't ask why. Just don't even ask. But anyway, anyway, um, fairies, they come with the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, and I enjoy them. They are really lively creatures. I love playing with them. They have a special skill tree. Uh, they have the regular needs, with the exception of bladder. They don't need to piss or shit. Similar to vampires, they don't need to piss or shit. So I guess that's one similarity right there. Excuse my language, um, please. Uh, but you may be looking at the needs panel and be like, okay, they are very similar in terms of needs. And that's where you would be correct, except fairies, you may be wondering, where's their hunger need? Well, that's because they don't eat. They don't feed off of regular food. They feed off of emotions instead. I talked about this in my last fairies video, which was my ranking video. For all the occult sims, I will put it in the description below so you can go check it out if you want. Um, but they feed off of emotions instead. And this is indicated by the top bar, their emotional force. Uh, this is extremely important for fairies because if it runs out, they will die. And let's just say I absolutely despise the death. I I hate the death. I mean, I love the fact that they added a new death for fairies. I am, but I hate it. I hate seeing my fairies die. Um, the other one not so bad because the other one is pretty much the opposite. Like I said, they basically have two ways of dying, uh, but one of them is purely unique, and the other one is just using base game deaths from a special mechanic. Uh, so instead of dying from hunger, they die from emotional starvation, and I absolutely despise it. I freaking hate their death. I do. I hate it because it's not annoying. I hate it because it's just depressing. Like it's just sad. Like I hate it with every fiber of my being. I seriously just I absolutely despise it. Um, Now the other way of them dying is the opposite, where you absorb someone's emotion. It has to be a strong emotion, like very, or enraged, or mortified, or hysterical, like that. If you keep absorbing those emotions uh, in a quick pace, your fairy will overload, and they will die from an emotional overload, either by cardiac arrest or cardiac explosion, uh, embarrassment, or laughter, depending on the emotions you absorb, which is pretty cool. Uh, and that one is not as heartbreaking as the emotional starvation one. I despise that death. I really, really do. Thankfully, it's easy to avoid. because there are multiple ways to increase your emotional force. So you can like use the fairy homes that come with Enchanted by Nature, which I really love the designs, by the way. You can get into it and use a fairy home to increase your emotional force. You can also use it to sleep, take a bath. You can even throw parties, but only fairy sims can access them. If you have any other type of sim, whether it being a werewolf, alien, vampire, mermaid, spellcaster, like all of those occults, or humans, they will not be able to do these actions for a fairy home. So think of this as the equivalent to the werewolf bunker in Moon Mill uh, for werewolves, to where only werewolves can access those by default. Uh, but this is completely restricted to fairies. Like, unless you have mods, this is completely restricted to fairies. So if you have like, okay, for example, Christian here is my fairy sim, right? So if I have her go over here and get into the fairy home, as you can see, I get all the options to sleep, throw parties, take a bath, regenerate my emotional force, which I don't really need to right now because my emotional force is pretty high. But you do have all of the normal options to fairy sims. But if I was to switch to my vampire sim, Charlotte, as you can see, you don't get near the amount of options you do for fairies, and you cannot shrink down like fairies do. So this is completely restricted to fairies just about. The only thing regular sims can do is put it in their inventory. Um, Now, the reason why they don't need to use the bathroom is pretty self-explanatory. Their magical existence prevents them from needing to use it, as well as they don't need to eat anymore. So they don't really need to use the bathroom anymore because they feed off emotions instead. Um, and for vampires, they don't need to eat, but they do need to drink. And I'm not talking about water either, because they do have their thirst need, which is jarring to say the least. I guess that's the word that I'm looking for. Um, Now, vampires have something similar to a fairy's emotional force, and that being their vampire energy. However, it stays up almost all the time, and it doesn't go down like a fairy's emotional force does. Uh, it will stay up continually as well as long as they are, in the following conditions. They are not out in the sun, and they are not performing their vampire powers on other sims. So, if they're out in the sun, their vampire energy will decrease. If it reaches zero, and if they're still out in the sun, they do have a special death, and that is sunlight, of course. Uh, so, unlike a fairy's emotional starvation death, I don't mind the sunlight death as much. Like, it's brutal and I like it, but the fairy's emotional starvation death I despise because I just hate seeing it. Thankfully, it's easy to avoid. But for vampires death by sunlight, I have my vampires die by sunlight almost all the time. It is pretty easily avoidable as well, though. You can just quickly, if you have seasons, you can have an umbrella, or if you get your sim indoors, uh, then you'll be fine. And if you have a coffin and have them hibernate, you can quickly get your vampire energy back up, so it's no big deal. Or you can do a dark meditation to increase your vampire energy, and it's similar to fairies, where you click on your fairy sim, go to fairy and regenerate emotional force. But you do need fairy dust, which is a very crazy thing in the pack for fairies that fairies can obtain, or regular sims if you forage in a very specific location if you're in Innisgreen, which that's being the Everdew neighborhood. But yeah, these two literally cannot be more opposite from each other. Like I said, like they literally cannot be made. Like they literally cannot be opposite more. They cannot be more opposite from each other. Now, something else. I should also take into consideration for you guys is the fact that these two also despise each other. Similar to uh, werewolves and vampires, these two despise each other. But fairies also despise spellcasters. They are neutral to aliens, and they like or are on good terms with mermaids and werewolves. So fairies are on good terms with werewolves, mermaids, neutral with aliens. They despise vampires and they despise spellcasters. Uh, However, you can completely offset this and become friends with everyone if your sim has the mystical trait. Uh, this trait, in my opinion, is just a straight up cheat code. It pretty much just makes it to where you become friends with any occult sim pretty much instantly. So say your fairy or your regular sim, you don't even have to be a fairy. You can literally be a human sim and have the mystical trait, and you can literally befriend an occult sim within literally like a span of 2 minutes. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant, but yeah. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was, in detail enough guide for you guys. I will do okay if this video reaches 5 likes, maybe even 4. I'll go for 4, and even 4 likes for this video. I will do a guide for the balance and imbalance system mechanic in my next video because this mechanic is really cool and it does offer some, gameplay value uh, for your sims. So yeah, because I like this mechanic. Not so much the luck mechanic because it's literally what it says. It's luck based for what it's going to be. Um, but I will do a guide on both of these later down the road if you guys want me to. More specifically, the balance and imbalance system because it's more important because you can actually change it with your in-game play, your gameplay. Uh, Unlike luck, for the most part, anyway. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one, and peace out. Like I said, you have to reach this video, get 4 likes, and I will show you a guide, an in-depth guide for the balance and imbalance mechanic from Enchanted by Nature also. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.